Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There's a reason that so many people see the cryptocurrency asset class, just investing in the cryptocurrency asset class in general, as a path to economic freedom, effectively. Because frankly, the asset class has been around a good 12 years or so, and it has created a lot of millionaires, and so certainly, admittedly so, a lot of people have gotten completely wrecked because they don't know what the heck they're doing. It's the whole FOMO in, panic sell type mentality, short-term mindset. Doesn't typically pan out well. But I want to share with you right now a number of things, including my optimism for the long-term viability of XRP, including value as well as price appreciation, and just the fact that we are in the biggest bull market in crypto history. And think about this. The market cap for the asset class is over $1 trillion for the first time today. Or maybe it was yesterday, technically, whatever. But the point is, consider this. So Bitcoin near its all-time high of a little over $40,000, right? And the neat thing about this is, even though alts in general are up, like, we haven't even seen an altcoin rally. We haven't. So, like, you consider this. Look, seriously think about this. Ethereum is a few $100s shy, roughly, of its all-time high. It's at $1,174 as I record this. The money hasn't even started to pour in yet. And so really, as far as XRP goes, look, I don't have a financial background. I am not offering financial advice, so definitely don't buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. But holy hell, for people that have a long-term mindset and are willing to take a risk, the price of XRP relative to other altcoins, in my opinion, it represents the greatest opportunity in the top 10 of the cryptocurrency asset class. So if you're looking for a large cap coin, this is the one that is most undervalued to this point, in my humble opinion, right? And I want to share with you the reason that's exciting. It's in conjunction with other news. So I have some stories I want to share with you in this video about continued institutional adoption. Because it's always mind-blowing to me that I really firmly believe, like, the average human, even participating in the crypto asset class, I don't think they get it. Maybe they kind of get it, like, hey, crypto opportunity, right? But there's not much Bitcoin. You just gotta, if you can just understand, like, a few fundamentals. So Bitcoin leads the market. Bitcoin is very scarce. Out of the 21 million that will ever be mined, 18.5 million of them have been mined, and only about 1.8 million of those are liquid. The rest are either lost. I think it's estimated somewhere around 5 million, roughly, of Bitcoin lost forever. You can think, of course, in the early days, people mining Bitcoin, and then like, this magic internet money is doing nothing, and then computers fail, you lose your thumb drive, whatever it may be, and so it's just gone. And then the rest is in deep, cold storage, because the neat thing about this is institutional investors absolutely buy and sell differently than retail speculators. Retail speculators are emotionally driven. They'll FOMO and, ooh, shiny green candle. Let me go chase that after it's already pumped up a bunch, and take my investment out of something else to afford to do that. And then you move it over, and then what you just took your money out of, which hadn't yet pumped, ends up pumping, and you just get wrecked. And so that's what retail investors do. They FOMO in, and then they panic sell. Whereas institutional investors, they've got a ton of money, long-term horizons, and they really will hold. They are not going to see what everybody else is doing, like, oh yeah, I'm going to jump off a cliff too, because that sounds good. No, that's not what they do. They are not mouth breathers, all right? Generally speaking, they are not mouth breathers. They're just going to hold. And so as the little bit of Bitcoin that remains on the market gets snatched up, all you have to do is just, if you have a basic understanding of supply and demand dynamics, then you know what's going to happen here. There's less Bitcoin for the little man to fight over, and it just drives the price up, which is what you're seeing here. There's not that much on the market. There's a reason Bitcoin went from about $20,000 to over $40,000 in roughly a month. It's absolute insanity, but I love it. I'm very appreciative of this. And so we've got this, and we've got Spark token, which, by the way, so XRP is at 31.4 cents. The Spark token, just a quick update, it's still hovering around 12.85 cents as I record this. And I'm telling you, you just wait, because this is the only market in the world where Spark token is getting traded. And I personally believe there are going to be a bunch of other exchanges that are going to want to get it. Because think about it, if you're an exchange and you already went to the trouble of offering custody for people, for your customers, you're not going to want to then open up a market so that you can make money on the buying and selling of this asset, which is now, you know, presumably rather liquid on your platform. Like you're not going to want to do that. I don't think so. So as more people come in, I think you're going to see some craziness over this alt cycle. Because again, you're looking at right out the gate here, a day into Spark token being traded here, and it's free. If you're an XRP holder, you can claim this. If you have your XRP in cold storage, if you haven't done so yet. Many of you already claimed it by putting your XRP on a partner exchange, all that jazz. But right at the gate, one day in, 12.85 cents. What do you think is going to happen when we get to the point where there is an alt season? Like, what if that goes to $1, R2, R3, and then what if XRP also does that? And it's all being driven by this right here. Here's a headline from the Daily Hodl. Institutional investor executes one of the largest crypto trades in history on Coinbase. Check this out. And if this isn't exciting to you, I question whether or not you have a pulse. Seriously, take a look at this. Hedge fund management firm One River Asset Management has emerged as a major player in the crypto space after executing one of the largest crypto asset trades in history on Coinbase. In a blog post, the crypto exchange's head of institutional sales, Brett Tejpal, says that One River teamed up with Coinbase Institutional to complete a large transaction without moving market prices. And so you know how this works, right? So how is it that all these purchases are getting made, these huge purchases, but it's not moving market? So the answer is, if you've got big money, if you're an institutional purchaser, you're buying over the counter. OTC is what it's called. And so what happens is you can go to a cryptocurrency exchange like Coinbase or Binance US, or pick your exchange that offers OTC, which I guess most of them probably do. I don't know the numbers on that, but I would imagine so. And all you do is say, hey, I'd like to make a rather large volume purchase. And so you understand that the cryptocurrency exchanges, they already hold a bunch of whatever cryptocurrency it is that you want to purchase. So say it's Bitcoin, they'll transfer the Bitcoin to you, and then you pay them, and the transaction is complete, but it didn't show up on the exchange, right? And so everybody else is oblivious to the fact this happened, because all it happened is it's like, say it's Coinbase. Well, they have reserves of Bitcoin. It just went out of their reserves and it was purchased. And so you might think, well, okay, so how does that help the price? Well, the answer is that's more Bitcoin that nobody else can have if that's an institutional player that wants to hold it. So again, this is what's happening. The institutions are coming in, they're purchasing over the counter. It doesn't move prices immediately. The retail speculators have no idea this is happening, but then they have to fight more fiercely for the scraps that remain on exchange. That's exactly what is freaking happening here. And we know that altcoins like XRP follow the price action of Bitcoin. So where do you think this is going? I know, I feel strongly, I'm not offering financial advice, but I feel very strongly that XRP will be worth substantially more in the future than it is today. And I always recognize, fine, if I'm wrong, then maybe I lose everything, but I have strong opinions on this, and I don't believe that's going to happen. Not even with the litigation with the SEC versus Ripple. I believe that's going to end up either in settlement or Ripple's going to end up victorious, at least as far as the aspect of XRP being proven to not be a security, which to me is the most important piece of all of this. But anyway, let me continue with this piece. So Coinbase Institutional also serves as the custodian of One River's digital assets, according to Tejpal. And here's a quote. One River worked with Coinbase to invest an undisclosed amount in digital assets, resulting in one of the largest digital asset trades in history. The initial trades were completed over the course of 5 days and executed at different speeds to work through varying market conditions. And then the piece continues. A Bloomberg report says that One River Management, CIO Eric Peters spearheaded the purchases over $600 million worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum through One River Digital Asset Management, with plans to increase the company's holdings to $1 billion in early 2021. So they keep on going here. I mean, you really should have gotten the hint when, like, for instance, MicroStrategy, which initially purchased hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin around, I think it was 10 or 11,000 when they bought it. And then when it got up to its all-time high of a little over $20,000, They spent, I can't remember what the number was, but it was like hundreds of millions of dollars more Bitcoin at that price level. You know, you better have a long-term mindset, because in the short term, you never know if it's going to go down or this or that. But like, it's insane. So like this is what is happening. And I don't think people realize how little Bitcoin is left. And so you can always have an opportunity to purchase it, but it's going to get way, way, way more expensive. That's the reason that so many chart analysts, when they're logging things out, it's not wacky when they come out and they're like, yeah, I think this market cycle, Bitcoin will go to 80,000 or 100,000 or 200, or some people say 300,000 or 400,000. I don't know where the peak will be in this market cycle, but we're still early in the cycle, and we hit over 40,000. And again, the supply and demand dynamics are just going to take hold in a very strong, very notable way. Anyway, the hedge fund launched One River Digital Asset Management in December 2020 to provide institutions access to cryptocurrencies. Digital assets not only help mitigate risks in a portfolio, says Peters, as they also provide exposure to a new technology that is reshaping money. And here's one final quote. Owning these assets is a mere toehold to the future, a deposit on the view that everything we know about financial intermediation and its relationship to centralized policy will change in ways we cannot yet foresee. Holding these assets over the long term aligns yourself with the macro megatrends of technological advance and currency debasement, both of which appear to be accelerating. And naturally, where this all leads and to what valuations will be determined by our collective imagination. And so I'll leave you with this thought. It's now not some sort of wacky, kooky, embarrassing thing for institutional money to flow into crypto. It's mainstream. You know, not everybody agrees on that yet, but it's accepted. And it's only going to increase. It is not going away. And it's absolutely true that as you continue to see the debasement of the United States dollar and other fiat currencies around this entire damn planet, you got to put it somewhere. You got to put your treasury reserve somewhere else rather than a fiat currency like the United States dollar. Because if you're sitting on a pile of cash, it's like a melting ice cube losing purchasing power. It's a horrible idea. And cryptocurrencies are provably scarce, cryptographically secure. There's nothing else like this. Until humans created this, Satoshi Nakamoto about 12 years ago, like it wasn't possible to do what these do. And I think that's part of the reason people have incorrect valuation models. Like, well, what about Bitcoin? It's not backed by anything. It doesn't produce anything. It's going to zero as a result of the old fogies that say that, like Warren Buffett and the like. It's just they have the wrong valuation model, and that's, if they haven't gotten to this point, there perhaps is no hope. But they need to start, if they're intellectually honest, they need to start asking, okay, what do I not understand? It's here after 12 years, and it's not like a bubble inflated and popped and then went away forever. It's multiple bubbles have inflated for over a decade, and then every time they pop, you have a higher low than the last market cycle, and then they reinflate again. It's not like tulip mania. When tulip bulbs, I'm sure many of you are aware of that, it's like, I don't know, 300 or 400 years ago, people were speculating on the value of a tulip bulb, and it ramped up. Some people bought in the top, and then it cratered down, lost everything, and never reinflated, because that was stupid. That was dumb. So if you have Bitcoin in the crypto asset class, yes, admittedly flating because there's a frenzy around this, it's fine, but then popping and then continually reinflating and getting higher lows and then ultimately higher highs, you gotta ask at some point, if you don't get it, okay, you should be like, okay, clearly I'm wrong, but what's the piece I'm missing? And it goes back to the valuation model and what people actually value in something. And just the fact that something is cryptographically secure and scarce, and in some cases, like the case of XRP, for instance, deflationary, well, that's appealing, especially if it enables business models that could not otherwise exist, which was my aha moment in the entire ad. Like, that was the moment when I realized that you could have business models that couldn't exist without this technology, without cryptocurrencies. That was my aha moment. I was like, oh yeah, this is never going away. For most people, it's more about, they just think about debasement, this or that. I think that's the more traditional aha moment. And that's fine too, that's real. But for me, even though I was aware of that early on, this as soon as I was like, wait, business models? Oh yeah. I was like, that's because that represents true value. That's the reason. And so to me, that was much more convincing, which is different than probably pretty much anybody else. The story I always hear, it's the same about debasement, this or that, digital gold, all that crap, which is perfectly fine. But for me, it was a little bit different here. Regardless, though, again, it's not going away. It's just going to keep going up in terms of price. I firmly believe, the asset class as a whole. And we are here before the vast majority of institutions that will be here in the coming years. And that's amazing. The price is just going to keep ramping up. I can only imagine what it's going to look like in another 5 or 10 years. It's going to be increasingly get completely nutso. And so as far as what it means for XRP, this is the reason that I do talk about Bitcoin in my videos fairly frequently. This is something that so many people don't get. It's so important to understand this. We want Bitcoin to go up. It is going up. It will keep going up. Institutions, I keep citing evidence. It's like on a daily basis there's evidence of it. It will keep happening. And we know that the way humans behave in 2021 is that altcoins, they simply follow Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is seriously going to ramp up. It brings eyes like people find. Call Bitcoin the gateway drug. It gets people in. But then like, oh, what are these other coins? What do they do? And then even if they're stupid coins that'll never do anything, fine. Right now, this is the way people are treating their money. So to me, this represents an incredible time to be alive, frankly. There has never been an opportunity like this in the history of mankind, and that is not hyperbole. I firmly mean what I'm saying. There's never been anything like this. And so 2021, we just getting started here, my friends. And to the people that say XRP going to zero, I say no. XRP is going to continue to be speculated on around the globe, just like every other coin that's listed out there. And I still think on top of that, if it's the fundamentals you're worried about as far as the litigation, no way to know for sure what's going to happen, but I firmly believe that will get cleared up because Ripple is on the right side of history. And I've been talking about that a lot in other videos. Now, I won't in this video, but there are a lot of reasons to feel optimistic. But I'll wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.